Hey everyone, welcome to Modern Fuel. My name's Cody and I'm excited to share with you why I started this channel, why I'm passionate about it, and why I'm excited to build this community with you. Let's go. So growing up, we've always been told that we have to do one thing in life and we have to go to college and get a career and do the 9-to-5 and put money in a 401k and just keep doing that. And then when you retire, you'll have a great life. Well, I never really believed in that. I wanted to do all the things that I love to do now and not have to wait until retirement to enjoy my life. In 2012, I'll be honest, I was pretty lost. Like most people straight out of high school, 2 years later, I'm going to community college and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I started in business. I didn't want to really do all the courses they made me do, but they made you do all the courses to get the degree so that you can be the thing that society wants you to be. I didn't really believe in that. I was really into fitness, health, and wellness, so I got a certificate to become a personal trainer. And in 2012, I started a business called Modern Fuel. Now, Modern Fuel wasn't really my idea. It didn't really come from me. It came from a vision board. And I was really lost in life. I had read this book, The Secret. It was like on my boss's bookshelf and I had borrowed it to read it, and it literally changed my life. At the time, if you knew me, I was not a big reader. This was probably one of the first books that I've read from front to back 2 times because I was so fascinated by these thoughts. So I created a vision board on my bed. I remember cutting out all these things out of a magazine, and I created a vision board totally blank, and I just started pulling words and things that I liked or that resonated with me, and I put them on the board. And I had just traveled to Arizona with my buddy to deliver basically his sister's stuff to Arizona State University. It was a long journey. It was the first time I've ever driven across country. We were in a U-Haul van. It was a crazy time and it was a very formidable. No, that's not the word. It was a very formational. We're gonna figure that out. He had stayed out there once we got there, and I flew back on like a Southwest flight. I just remember being in the very back row by the toilets, the cheapest flight you can get because I was so broke. I remember sitting next to this woman. I was by the window, she was in the middle, and this woman was like, "Hey, my name's," introduced herself. She goes, "So what are you up to? What are you doing?" And she just talked to me the entire plane ride. I don't know why I confided in her. She's like, "Well, what do you want to do with your life?" And I had no clue. And she's like, "Well, what are you interested in?" And I told her basically, well, I love the outdoors. I love fitness. I like being healthy. I like exploring new things. And she just looks at me and she goes, "Why don't you be a personal trainer?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Not really a fan of the gym. Like, I like to do things outside." And I've never been like a real gym person. If you met me in high school, I was like all of 110 pounds soaking wet. I was being destroyed in every sport. She's like, "Well, my personal trainer and I go rock climbing and bicycling and we do kayaking together." And I was just like, "What? You pay people to do those things?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't have anyone else to do it with, so I have to pay someone to do it with me so that I'm safe and I get to learn something along the way." And I just thought that was so fascinating. So fast forward back to the vision board on my bed one night. I'm laying out all these things that are resonating with me. And I came home from that trip with the little idea in my head that, personal training, what's that about? Fitness? I don't know, maybe. So I laid out all these clippings from the newspapers and I started putting it all together, and a couple things came up together. And I still have this vision board today, and I'll show you a picture of it after this. I laid out all these words and it said Modern Fuel Fitness. And I was like, wow, that's a really great name. And then I ran downstairs and I told my parents, I was like, "What do you guys think of Modern Fuel Fitness as a fitness company?" And they're like, "That's really cool. What is it?" And when they said, "What is it?" I immediately knew that it was a great name because it sounded professional. It looked good. And this wasn't always the logo. This is our redesigned logo from like 2015, 2016. But immediately I was like, this is it. I'm going to own a fitness company. I'm going to do in-home personal training. All these ideas just started flooding through my mind. I was still in school at a local community college, and I was doing business and marketing, and I immediately went to my counselor and I was like, I want to enroll in the personal training certificate program. And I think it was through the American College of Sports Medicine. And it was like a 12-month program or something like that. She was so confused by me. She was like, well, don't you want an associate's degree or something like that? I was like, no, I just want to become a personal trainer. So she's like, okay. And we started enrolling me for the next semester and all these things that had to do with health, wellness, fitness, nutrition. I took all the classes. Once I became a certified personal trainer, I had to do a lot of hours underneath other people. So I got to see their style of training. And then I was like, how do I become different? Because the gyms are kind of overwhelmed with a lot of people, a lot of trainers, all striving to do the same thing. I was like, what if I did what this woman on the plane told me about? And that's in-home personal training. So I started a website, very basic website, and I started marketing with like business cards and little brochures. I would leave them at like the local bulletin boards in town. This is great. I was like, wow, this is starting to finally become a thing. And I think at the most I had 14 clients at one time, and it was like 7 in the morning, 7 at night. And that was like a really sufficient income to keep me going. I was living pretty well, and I didn't realize how well I had it until it was all kind of taken away from me. So I was personal training from 2012 to basically 2020, a little, 8 years. And the pandemic killed my personal training, fitness, and outdoor company. I wasn't allowed to go into homes, and long story short, I had to put all my eggs into one basket, which was construction and property management, because I was doing that during the day, handyman work, property management, construction during the day, because my clients were only really early in the morning from like 4 to 9 p.m. and then in the night from like 6 to 9 p.m. So during the day, when I had lighter days, I would go and do construction, handyman projects, and work for different companies to learn different skills and trades as like a part-time worker, and sometimes worked for an excavating company for over a year full-time to learn the ins and outs of that. And I had formed a business called Modern Concepts in 2018 for my handyman and construction business, because I feel like I needed to legitimize that in some way. And thank God I did, because I already had the ball rolling with that. I always wondered what my life would be like without fitness in it, or waking up at 4 in the morning, because I was exhausted. I'll be honest, I was like sick a lot because I was just burning the candle at both ends of the wick, and I was completely dead. So I started doing more construction projects, and through the pandemic years, I was very grateful. All my personal training clients took me on as contracting clients, and I got to do small renovations in their home. I had done woodshop back in high school for 4 years, and we had like a pretty advanced woodshop program. And then working for all these other contractors and builders, I got to learn a lot, and I knew the ins and outs of most things, and it was a learn as you go type of thing. What really excelled me was in 2021. I think in 2020, we bought our house, a tiny 1,000 square foot house, and we had a lot of renovation projects to do. And man, did that teach me a lot. I was constantly on YouTube, how to do plumbing, how to fix this, how to install a toilet, how to remove a vanity, how to put a faucet in, all these things I've never done before, but I knew I was capable of doing. I learned on the fly, and I practiced in my own house. Now I've been a contractor for 6 years. I have one employee. I started doing real estate during the pandemic as well, because we were kind of stagnant for 3-4 months. I was like, why not do this online real estate course, become a realtor? I bought our home for sale by owner, and I was always fascinated by that. So I was like, why not do more of that? If like that's something that you thought was really cool, I wanted to explore that world, and I couldn't just sit at home and do nothing. So that came into my life. I've been a realtor for 3 years now. Second and third year, I really did a lot with it. The first year, I really didn't do anything with it. But second and third year, it really took off for me. I've sold a bunch of houses, bought a few houses with clients. This year, we finally bought our first investment property, which is really cool. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride with that one. So flash forward to today and why I started the Modern Fuel YouTube channel, how I want to rebrand it, what I'd like to achieve with it, and some of the things that I want to explore with you guys as a community. I always find that balancing life, travel, work, family is like really intricate and difficult. And if we can all explore ways to thrive together in this world and live the best life that we can live and be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, I can do that with this channel and bring you tips, tricks, ideas, and just like stimulate a community and grow together. So going forward, Modern Fuel is going to be a place to explore, learn new things, DIY projects and our construction projects, and learn about real estate and investing. Basically everything that I'm interested in now, I just want to share that with the world. And maybe you guys will share something with me too. As I get older, I realize that community is really important. I want to find more like-minded people that are interested in growing and just exploring all the things that are possible in this world. I feel like we've always been told that we have to be one thing in life. I don't want to be just one thing in life. I want to be everything that my brain and my imagination can conjure up. I want to be a contractor. I want to be a realtor. I want to be an investor, a traveler. Maybe I want to live on a boat someday. So if any of this resonates with you, I hope you follow Modern Fuel as we grow into this new chapter in life where we thrive to be the best we can be. Our motto has always been fuel your mind, fuel your body. I think I want to add one more thing to that. Fuel the journey, because that's what it's all about. The journey through life as we grow together. I hope you guys like this content and follow along for all the great things that are to come. And I want to thank you for watching.